Hi there. I have an idea. So, I have an idea for Marvel's next Netflix show. And I say next in quotes because it's not really their next one because they have Luke Cage and Iron Fist and more Jessica Jones and more Daredevil and all this stuff. But I have an idea. I haven't seen Jessica Jones, but I want to include this character in this sort of MCU Netflix universe sort of thing going on. So, my thought is that based on this character having two mediocre movies, this character needs an update. So, a good way to do this is to reboot Ghost Rider. Obviously, none of the original cast, nothing. We forget about Spirit of Vengeance. We forget about the first Ghost Rider movie from like 2005 and the movie that came out like 6-7 years later. You don't worry about that. We think, how can we make Johnny Blaze interesting? And I say we have to make Johnny Blaze interesting because based on the movies, I only know about the movies really. I don't know about cartoons or if he was ever in any cartoons or if he has any comic books if he was in the comic books. I don't know about him. I know based on the movies. You have to make him interesting. So basically, in the first two Ghost Rider movies, you're there for Ghost Rider the Demon. You're really not there for Nick Cage's performance unless it's this transformation scenes, which were good in both movies. Specifically the first one where his skin is melting off, and you just see like the whole transformation, and then all of a sudden there's a bald, flaming skull in a leather jacket, which is ridiculous on its own. But I feel like Marvel could really fit it with their whole Netflix thing. It'd be great. So, I want them to make the villains interesting, the love interest interesting, and Johnny Blaze interesting. Give them a good origin story. I don't even care what they have to do to it, just to make it work in that Netflix universe, but do it. I don't know where Ghost Rider takes place. I don't know if it's in like Texas or Arizona or if it's just like Toronto. I legitimately don't know where Ghost Rider is even from. He visits New York at some point in this TV series. That would be cool. So I put a realm of superheroes together, or anti-heroes. Punisher, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, and Blade to me are all in the same category of Marvel characters. That category being like not traditional superheroes, just kind of there doing their own thing. And every once in a while they interact with the normal heroes. But if you put Ghost Rider into this category of characters for TV shows, Netflix shows, it could be very interesting because with Matt Murdock and his Christian beliefs, and then you suddenly have this literal demon in his city who rides around on a flaming motorcycle that tears up the streets and goes like the speed of sound, and like he just starts taking out parts of the gangs randomly at night, and a lot of them at a time. He's like disintegrating people, and some of them he's, basically putting them in a comatose state or killing them and sending them like a hell or a purgatory. That's crazy and would really have to make Matt Murdock think about what's going on. But a really interesting way to include Frank Castle in this, let's say he's in Hell's Kitchen. He's at an encounter with a gang. He's on a rooftop shooting into a smaller building on like the outskirts of New York, towards like the docks and the piers and stuff, where a lot of shootouts and fights seem to take place in Daredevil. And he's up on maybe a roof or a parking garage or something, and he's shooting down at these people, and all of a sudden this flaming ball. Maybe he's looking down, like there's a building and there's like a street over here, a street over here. He sees the fireball come into the building he's shooting at. He doesn't know what it is. He sees it rush down into the thing. He hears people dying. Maybe people run outside. He sees like the chain just ripping, like going in them, like disintegrating them. He sees this flaming skull and this leather jacketed person, this demon, walk out and basically just start laying down the people who are outside. Maybe cops show up. Maybe not yet. Maybe cops don't show up yet. But if there are cops, he's got them too. And Frank Castle is, for the first time, stunned at what's happening in front of him. He has no idea what's happening. And out of panic and fright, for once, he just takes whatever machine gun he's using. Maybe he switches to a machine gun. He has a sniper and a machine gun. Whatever. He just unloads. Maybe he even unloads an automatic sniper. He just unloads into Ghost Rider. Obviously, Ghost Rider, being the way he is, just absorbs the bullets or like spits them out. And Ghost Rider looks up. He's like, "You're next." Maybe he says it. Maybe he just points at him. Maybe he just looks at him and walks into the parking garage or building to, go find Frank Castle. Frank Castle's like, "Oh my God, I have to get out of here." At that point, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. If he doesn't, the Ghost Rider is going to basically, your soul is stained by the blood of the innocent, feel their pain thing to him. And he's going to be comatose or not killed, because you can't really just kill Frank Castle, but just comatose him. Bam, leave him for dead. At this point, maybe Daredevil shows up because he's heard of gunshots and the police. Maybe he's listening onto a police scanner or something, or he's doing his intent thing where he's using his hearing and he hears this whole thing going down. People are like burning and he's like, "What's happening?" So maybe he gets there and the cops get there. He investigates a little bit before the cops get there, maybe. He's looking around, piles of ashes. The Ghost Rider's gone. There's no sign of motorcycle, just tire tracks that are on fire or ripped open the road. And at this point, he, first of all, has no idea what's happening. He's confused. So he goes and he's looking around. He's like, "Well, I heard Frank Castle is supposed to be around here because he heard the gunshots." Or maybe he's been talking to Frank recently, and Frank said he's going to go and do his bust at this warehouse. Maybe he starts scouting around the near buildings. He finds Frank in comatose state. And what else can he really do than to either bring him to his apartment, which is kind of stupid, so Matt, or maybe as Daredevil, brings the Punisher to a hospital. Not something you really want to do with Frank Castle at this point in time. And he sets him down, and they get him into onto a machine and like make sure that Frank Castle is going to stay alive. And then Daredevil has to dive into what's happening with Ghost Rider. Maybe he gets Karen. I believe that's her name. Karen. And he talks to Karen and says, "Hey, you've done work and other things with Murdoch and or Nelson and Murdoch," and that was the thing. Where he talks to Foggy or talks to someone, and he's like, "Can you do some research?" Maybe he goes to the Bulletin, something, and they do research and say, "Well, this Ghost Rider figure has been different places. People think he's a demon, blah, blah, blah." And at this point, Matt Murdock has to deal with the fact that his Christian beliefs are not necessarily true, but he has to deal with them in a way he never thought he'd have to. He has to deal with an actual demon in Hell's Kitchen, funny enough. And I just think that would be a very interesting story arc, whether it be even just on Daredevil or if Ghost Rider had his own series. I mean, obviously, I told it more of from the point of view of as a Punisher or as a Daredevil series. If not, maybe even from the Ghost Rider series, we just switch and suddenly we're in Frank Castle's point of view. That would kind of throw it off a little bit, or maybe we do it from Ghost Rider's point of view. That would be very interesting to me. I would thoroughly enjoy that. I feel like it's something that would work very well. And it wouldn't have to, maybe Ghost Rider as a test wouldn't have to be all 13 episodes, maybe 8 or something like that. Just a smaller number to like test audiences to get another season, or just include them with Daredevil or something. That would be an interesting character they'd have to deal with, and that's just an idea I had in the shower, believe it or not. So, yeah, that's really going to be it. That's what I think the next Marvel Netflix series should be, or should include. And if there's a way to include Jessica Jones in there, I don't know much about her. I haven't watched the series yet. I'm going to do that soon. Tell me in the comments below. Other than that, like the video if you liked it. Favorite video is your favorite. Don't forget to share the video, subscribe for more, and I will see you all later. Take care. Bye.